What's up, every guy and ladies, and what's up, everybody, and welcome, guys. Welcome to this edition of Love Thursdays. That's right, guys. Love Thursdays starting kind of late tonight, but that's okay. Actually, this afternoon or evening, I should say, at 8 o'clock tonight, or is it 7:30? Either one of them, it don't matter. This is the best time because it's the more relaxing, soothing time to do this YouTube. That's right, do this YouTube and let you guys know what my opinion is every Thursday when we do Love Thursdays. That's right, guys, Love Thursday. So, what are we talking about today? Well, today we're talking about cheating and is it allowed to a certain extent? That's right, cheating. Is it loud? And it just depends on the situation, guys. Now, today, as you can see here, I'm just dressed down, relaxed, got this champion shirt on, which I am a champion at heart, and we all should be, right? Helps you motivated and help you with your confidence, right? So let's go ahead and get into this. But before we do, I want you guys to do what I always tell you to do. Get your ass in here. Come on in, open that door. Come on in, come on in, come on in, guys. Come on in and have a seat right there and close that door. And I'll wait until you get comfortable. All right, because I am in a virtual world, right? And pretending that you guys are viewing this channel, but that's okay. Somebody will watch and learn from this, especially in the future as I get bigger and bigger and grow. Also, I had to wash my little beard out a little bit. I didn't use the tea tree, the stuff that Antoine Daniels tell you, but I was thinking about buying that stuff from Antoine Daniels, because I like to keep my mustache and beard pretty clean, and do the facial stuff and stuff like that, exfoliation and stuff. So that's something that I'm gonna have to get into because I gotta keep looking good and keep the dark spots off and so forth. So I like to look good, guys, and keep my teeth done as well. Staying with the dentist and so forth. All right, enough about me. Let's get into the subject matter. And that subject matter, like I stated earlier, cheating. When is it acceptable? When is it allowable? Well, let me tell you this. It just depends on the situation, guys. I know on YouTube, everybody and their mama, whether it's mostly men or women, and I would say half these days on YouTube and different apps and so forth and TikTok, that I think it's about even with men and women. Uh, Everybody say it's wrong, it's disgusting, blah, 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 this and that, and if you put up with that as a guy, you're considered as a simp, um, or as a woman, if you put up with that, you're considered as weak, and all this other stuff. But the reason why I say, and I had to sit back and think about it now that I'm an older guy that's over 45 and up, in that 50 range, middle age guy, you have to sit back and assess your life when you get at 50 years and older, and you have to look at stuff in a realistic way, okay? You have to look at things in a realistic way about certain things, because when you get at 40 and 45 years old, you don't give a shit, guys. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a single or a divorced, or even a divorced man, most importantly. You don't give a damn, especially when your kids are grown. But I can understand when you're in your 20s because, your life is just beginning. You trying to achieve and get to a certain status in your life. And then you're going to want to have kids, you understand, to pass on your legacy through life. That is normal. So, yes, I do agree with guys in their 20s, even in their 30s and early 40s who never had kids before. and they're around with this younger woman or whatever her age is, and she's cheating a lot, and you're trying to grow a legacy, and she got her ass out there with other dudes or another dude and so forth. So I do understand that. However, I am a person who is divorced and been divorced for many, 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 many years, and my kids are grown. So for me, I don't give a shit, you know. I mean, I would love to have a relationship with a woman and be with that one woman, but I'm too old to be chasing people down, you know? I'm too old. I'm at the point in my life, you know, if you're with me, you respect me, and when I drop you off from the date or you leave from the date, I'm not going to chase you down and make it do what it do, you know? As long as you have respect for me when we're together, that's fine. However, if we're in a relationship and we both agree to terms and conditions of that relationship, of course, I do want you just to be only with me. However, let me say this. In my personal opinion, okay, it's only 3 times, guys, 3 times when cheating is not good. 1, when you're married. 2, when you're engaged to this person and you put a ring on them and you spent that money on them, okay? And the third one is if only in this situation when you living with a person and she or even he sometimes, ladies, okay, bringing somebody to your house, disrespecting your house. To me, that's the worst thing in the world. A man's house is his castle. I don't care if it's an apartment, a house, or a little shack of a house. Your house, and somebody coming in there to do some bad things, alias things, I should say, wrongful things. No, not where you sleep at. It's one thing when a woman cheats on you and she does it elsewhere, okay? But to have that person in your house cheating on you, no, that's not acceptable. No, that's the total disrespect right there. However, going back to the subject matter, and the reason why I keep saying that, to me, it just depends on the situation, because look, I'm going to go back to 2004 on you, okay? When I was a lot younger. And I'm going to tell you this story in details that really truly happened to your boy here, that happened to me as a younger man in 2004, 20 years ago, guys. Oh, 19 years ago. 19 years ago. All right. So, in 2004, which was one of my best years ever in my life, there's a lot of stuff I got achieved. I was living in San Marco, and I lived in an apartment right by the water. And back then, the one bedroom was very dirt cheap back then, guys. Trust me when I tell you, it was very dirt cheap to live in a one bedroom. I mean, you could pay the rent, pay the light bill, and every 3 months, I know they changed a lot of laws in the state of Florida, but I think it was every 3 months you paid what, $30 worth of water or something like that, you know? And back then, not only did people have cell phones, but they also had a little house phone, and you also had the cable. And the funny thing about the cable, and I'm gonna just go off on a tangent just for a second, with was it Comcast at the time? Yeah, I think it was Comcast. They had this program set up for 6 months. You can pay $19.95 every month before they went up to $60 or however much it was at the time. I don't remember. So if you cancel, and a guy had hooked me on that, hooked it up, the cable hooked me onto it. If I canceled on the 5th month, I could wait for a week and then do it again, and I had 11 months of free, well, not free cable, but I had cable for 1995 a month. Plus, on top of that, I was working in sales, getting commission, and I was doing little side hustles as well. So, with the little side hustles, I always had extra money. Not only did I have money to spend and save, but I had that little extra money from the little side hustle. So I was doing well each month, paying the rent by myself, uh, getting the groceries, putting gas in my car, and paying the electric and the phone bill. I was straight. And if I wanted to get some clothes, I got extra little clothes or music gear because I was, I'm an electronic musician, or trade stuff off or do something for somebody else, and or do some little gigs on the side, do some little hustles on the side. So that was a good thing back then. But anyway, so I was living, and there was some girls that I dated, uh, and there was some situationships that I was in, right? And I talked about that before on the last cast, right? Podcast. Well, with live, but pre-recordings. But anyway, there was a situation where, and guys, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. You ever been in a situation where there's a woman or a lady, a young lady? In this case, she was a young lady that had the potential to be somebody that you can be emotionally attached to, or it's in that stage. Not only is the sex and the loving good and everything, the kissing, the holding, the intimacy good, but she had that personality, and she was real feminine, guys, and you just like, yeah, I'm gonna see how this gonna ride the hell out. And that's what I did with this one chick, right? Now, let me tell you, she had an apartment of her own. As a matter of fact, I think it was it was a two-bedroom apartment, and she was a senior at college, right? This was her fourth year. About 22, 23 years old. Maybe no, she probably was like 24. Because she started at the age of 20. Anyway, she went to UNF. You never finished. No, I'm just kidding. That's an old joke. So she went to UNF, and I think her degree was in business or something like that. I forgot what it was, but it was a two-bedroom she was staying in. And, there were times that, her roommate was busy and she didn't want to spend time there, but she really enjoyed spending time at my place, at my huge one-bedroom apartment, right? And so I said, okay, cool. There were days that, she spent the night there and so forth. And I set the rules, and I said, look, don't have no motherfucker in my house. No dudes in my house. Excuse my language, y'all. And she respected that. And, it was almost to the stage that we was seeing each other for a couple of months, and she would come like 3 or 4 times a month, and she would fill up my refrigerator and so forth, to the point where I had that extra key made. And I was just like, okay, cool, right? So the long and the short of it, guys, I started really kind of growing some feelings for her, and it was getting better and better and better. But I got this thing called a spirit of discernment, where I just felt like something, even though she was cooking dinner for me, doing all the right things, doing everything that I liked, there is something that I had that was not right, that was inside of me, right? So I had no reasons to think about this, but I don't know what it was that drawn me one night, because she was going to work the next day, to kind of follow her to work and see if she's legit before I start opening my real emotions up to her. Because we were together, guys. We was intimate. We was doing everything together, and she spent the night there that night. And she worked for, this little corporate job, right? It was like 3 or 4, levels. And she had forgotten that she told me periodically that there was a certain time that that some of the team out there, in lunch, they had an hour lunch break. Some of the team would go out there, and, she really wasn't a smoker that I knew of, but, she said she had a few hits back in the days, but she was into a health conscious type of deal, and I could tell you guys, you can tell when a woman basically smokes or not, takes a little bit of that ashy stuff. So she was just cool with that. It was legit, right? So one day, for some reason, I think I had that day off. I'm not sure, but it was on like a Thursday or Friday or something. But anyway, and I didn't let her know that I was off. So she had a head start, and I knew she told me where she worked at, right? And I found out where she worked at, and it was, and I found out the road it was on because I went to the gas station and asked the attendant guy. Back then, with the cell phones, we didn't have all of this stuff now that, you can, you start and it navigates you to the right spot and, and so forth. We didn't have it down there. So you say, oh, yeah. The gas attendant said, yeah, you got to just go down such and such and on this road and that road, right? So I went down the road, right? And sure enough, there was the building right there, and it had highlighted everything, and I came at the right time. I think it was around 12:30, or 1:30 or something like that. Anyway, so she was out there in the front. I thought I was going to have to wait until she comes out, but she was already out there, guys, right? She was already out there enjoying her lunch, and it was like 20 something, 122 or something like that, or in the 20s, right? Anyway, she was talking to this guy. Now, it was a lot of employees out there, and a lot of them was out there smoking. Some of them was just out there conversating, just, bullshitting around. But there was this one guy, and it was something about the language. When two people talk sometimes, you can tell, and they got this look in their eyes that they're interested or have a potential interest in that person, man and woman, right? And it was just kind of like that kind of thing. And, she smiled and laughed, and it was kind of like a touchy-feely type of deal, and okay. So I said, okay, I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I'm just going to see what it is, right? So something told me, because I had got off, I had a half a day. You know how you have half a day of work sometime? I think it was the next Friday. I'm not sure. Anyway, I saw her go up to this guy again. This time, the second time, they were in the same facility area. This time, this guy was smoking cigarettes, and they were outside, and he had his hand hanging up on something. I forgot what it was, and then she kind of took the cigarette out of her hand and put it in her mouth, and I was like, yeah. And she had that smile like I'm interested, because a lot of times what women would do would pull their hair back, let you know that they're interested and so forth about a situation. And she was really into this guy's conversation, right? That was the main thing. She was really into this guy's conversation. She was just drawn to it. No matter what, it was just her into this conversation. So let's just move on. And I said, okay, I see what's going on. And one Saturday that we usually spend a whole Saturday together, guys, right? That she said she had to leave early, and it was some kind of bullshit excuse. And for some reason, in the back of my mind, I knew it was bullshit. But I didn't trip. And I said, okay, well, we'll meet up some other time, right? Didn't let her know nothing. And I immediately, time she was leaving the complex, because it was an upstairs, downstairs, in the middle complex, I was able to jump right in my car and just go around. I went out there, and then I went around the other way, and I just happened to be behind her. Because, see, I saw the red light. That's what it was. And I was coming from another angle. And then she was driving off. And it was luckily another car was in front of me in between it. And she wasn't paying any attention, guys. And I was just right there behind her. And what had happened was she had went to this park. And I'm thinking that this was like a Subaru station wagon car or something, like a little older Subaru. Anyway, there were trees and houses right there, and I can pull up, and it was a very tiny park where they were at. She parked the car right behind his, right? She got out the car, and she went into the car with him at this little park. But it was just, on the outskirts of the park, but it was in the parking area where the grass was right by the ditch. Anyway, so when she got in that car and the stop sign was here, and I was parked back where, it was the house, but it had like trees and bushes there, so they couldn't see it because they weren't paying attention. And I saw her lock lips with him, and it was like a slow kiss, and I pulled back a little bit, and she had that smile with her eyes closed, and that was it. And now she said that she would never cheat on me. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm the one for the first couple of months. Everything was great. Don't worry. I'm yours, Tim. I'm dedicated to you. She threw it in my face all the time. And I think what had happened was when she stopped saying things and doing little things and little favors for me. So I was like, okay, all right. So that was confirmed. So what I did was I looked back, and I remember pulling my car all the way back with the bushes and stuff so they couldn't see me, instead of just doing a U-turn with a stop sign, and so she could possibly see me. And I just did a little turn right there, and I just made my way back to the apartment. So I say that to say this, guys, right? The sex was good, the loving was good, the massages was good. Even when she cooked certain hot meals, they were excellent. All right? She had a roommate, but sometimes she would come over my place 3 times a week. So I was pissed off. I'm not going to lie. I was pissed off. I was a much younger guy. I was really upset about the whole situation. But something said, hey, do you have any other girls on you right now? It's like, no, I don't. Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do what they call today monkey branching, which most women do today? All right? Not most. I'm saying that cheats. That's what I meant. Why don't you find you another female or chick or lover and just keep what you got going on right now. You already been confirmed that she's cheating on you. It's already been confirmed. Don't bring it up into her face. And there's a reason why I say this, guys, right? Because I was still getting the loving. I was still getting everything. Now, most people would have exposed her and all that kind of stuff, but she didn't bring this guy to my house. She was going where he was. And I was able to put a cap on the feelings. And at that time, they had like clubs opening in Jacksonville. It was a ton of them. So I had some female friends at the club that I was meeting that was prospects. And I was able to actually give them my home phone number. They were leaving messages. I said, well, let's just take it to another level. Let's just go out, eat, and see what it's about. Okay, cool. So what I did was I said, okay, until I find me another way out of this, and I'm going to just keep the loving coming. Shit, I mean, I ain't have nothing else. I was going through a dry spell. I'll be the first to admit it that summer. So hey, it is what it is, right? Made sure I wore a condom, though. You damn sure, yeah. So everything was good. I was going to drop this chick. And you guys can call me a simp, whatever you want to call me. But I was just getting the loving for free. and the meals that she brought over and stuff that she cooked for me. Because it was no engagement rings. Didn't bring dude over to my house. None of that stuff. Okay? I was going to get rid of her anyway. So I found out that I had two prospects. I thought it was one, but it was two. One girl at the club and one girl I met somewhere else. I forgot what the situation was. I had two prospects of girls that I was dating. And then when it was confirmed, right, it's kind of like something is transferred to your checking account, confirmed, and it was there, right? Went out with one of the chicks, and the other one was, well, yeah, we hung out, and they both liked me. And so I was back on the dating scene, even though I had this relationship that I knew I was going to end. So I was like, okay, now that it's been confirmed, I'm going to get rid of this chick and start with this other chick. And I'm actually going to cook some dinner for her because I like to do that sometimes. And so the question was, how am I going to get rid of this one female who I was still attracted to, cared about us extremely a lot, but she did what she did and she lied, and I couldn't be with somebody who lied like that because you don't know if she's with multiple dudes or one dude. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what the drama's going to be there. So I said, let me get rid of this chick right now. But how am I going to approach it? So I went to, was it Atlantic Boulevard or Beach Boulevard? One of those. Anyway, I think it was Atlantic. And I don't think it was a Walmart I don't know if it was a Walmart out there at that time. No, it was Winn-Dixie. I went to a Winn-Dixie out there. That's what it was. Winn-Dixie, guys, is a food store. It's a big chain food store for you guys who don't, in your state that don't have them, right? So I bought something, and this had nothing to do with nothing. And when I was out, and I had no reason to be there, right? I wasn't even thinking about this chick. Sure enough, guys, when I pulled up with the little cart that I had, right? And I vaguely remember this. They were in front of me. She was leaning on his head and he was rubbing her shoulder like they was lovers. They was in love. So the cashier was just like, "Aw," or something like that, letting them know that it was cool that they was lovers. And I was standing right behind them, but she didn't even see me. So they started looking, and she kissed up to him, and she put her head, and he rubbed like they was just boyfriend and girlfriend, right? So what happened was the lady was bagging stuff up, and he forgot one of the bags, and he was picking them all up. So I said, "Oh, excuse me, sir. Excuse me." He turned around. He said, "Yes." I said, "Here's your bag." "Oh, thank you." Now, immediately, in the back of my mind, I can see her looking at me, and I said, "Okay, I'm gonna wait until see what's going on with her, what's going through her mind, right?" And as I looked, she was like mouth open, shocked. Her mouth was like, and then she went like, "Oh shit, I gotta explain this shit now. Oh well." Yep, you been busted, chick. And I don't care what nobody say, women cheat more than men, all right? Or just as much as men. I would say more these days, but back then, just as much. 19 years ago, all right? Because this is 2023 of December. Anyway, I just turned my back and looked at the cashier, and I continued on. And as they was walking out, I looked at this window pane part, and you can see them going out, and he was grabbing at her hand, and she just had this look on her face at you could tell as they was walking away. And then she just went and put her arms, locked them underneath him and so forth, right? And I was, chatting up, smiling and so forth with the cashier. It was a girl. Then I saw them outside, and then I saw her go into her purse for something, and then she was walking in front of the guy, and it was just like he was like, "Yo, what's going on? You know, everything's cool and so forth." And she turned and said, "Mm-hmm." And then I didn't give her a chance to look at my face, and I just started laughing and so forth in front of the cashier, right? So that happened. That little episode happened, right? So make a long story short, guys, what I decided to do was just immediately go home because you know how women always leave stuff at your apartment. For whatever reason, they leave little uh, underwears, and I think in socks or clothing or whatever, and I think they do that just to let other females know that you belong to them, right? And you are part of them. So that's what the situation was about in a nutshell. That's what that whole situation was about. And what I did, and I can remember, it was calculated at an hour and 25 minutes later. She left a message. Hey, I just want to talk to you and explain some things real quick. Um, Please, give me a call back as soon as possible. Dude. She left another message to me. I didn't call her back. I didn't respond. I didn't do nothing, guys. I immediately went back to my apartment, and what I did was I packed her stuff because she had a lot of stuff over there. I packed her stuff up, and she even had like this little, it was like a little round suitcase type of deal uh, that had a little top on it, and you could just zip it up. And it was kind of like a night stay bag or something like that, that people have that when they go over other people's houses. But anyway, so I had the night stay bag over there, and I just packed the stuff up. And 99% of me said, leave a note on top, with a little sticker and stuff, because I had like a little, tape during that time, sticker with sheet of paper and writing bold letters, it's over. But this 1% of me said, no, don't do that. Don't do that, Tim. Because she's going to figure it out when she see it. So what I did instead, guys, I had left it open and showed her little vinyl bag, whatever that was, and all the clothes, and I let the whatever that was on the top clothing stick out so that she can see it, right? Let it just stick out and have the zipper and a flap back with the thing sticking out. In other words, I was sending a message to her and saying, look, it's over with. It's nothing you can do about this. It is over with between me and you. It is done. It is a done deal. You showed me what you was about. It's over with. I don't want to hear nothing from you. So what she did, an hour and 25 minutes later, I heard the car coming. She's running up the stairs. And I had the chain on it. I had the door locked. And I had this chair, this kitchen chair. And I stood up and I watched. I just kind of looked down a little bit. And then I said, you know what? Let me get off this thing because I can just see right here. So I got off the chair and I looked. I don't know. It was just stupid of me to get on there anyway because it was just length. And I realized that and I pushed the chair out of the way. Anyway, I looked out the peephole and I saw her sighing because she ran. She looked up at the door and ran and walked right into it. And she said, she saw all her stuff there. And so she just paused, put her hand on her mouth, and looked up and just kind of stared at it for a couple of minutes. Looked at the door, and I think she kind of put her hand right there. And it was like maybe 20 seconds. Zipped it up, and she left. And that was it. I haven't heard from her since. That was it, guys. Two messages saying, and it was on my answer machine saying that she was trying to explain the situation. Okay, could you please call me back the second time because I want to explain the situation that's going on. But when she saw that I was cold-hearted to her, that was it. So what that meant was, I think it was a couple of days or it might have been a week later, guess what your boy did? I had invited the new girls over. You know, they didn't know each other, and I just started dating again, guys. Not a player, but I just started dating with different options. And then that year later on, I met a third girl who wound up being, a regular girl, because the other one went away, so it went down to two girls that I was seeing off and on. Unfortunately, look, guys, it's like that because you never know. You know, it's not like it was in the early 90s and the 80s where you had this one female and she was going to be true to you and you had to wait. No, it's not about being a player neither. It's about you having options. You understand what I'm saying to you? And like I said before, and I'll say it again, if this woman is not married to you, engage with your ring, because you can just be engaged without giving her a ring yet, which will actually work in your favor, and you can let her know the reason why. Or 3, you caught her with a dude over your house. And ladies, vice versa, if a guy is living with you and you caught a female over your house, okay? If that's the case, then yeah, you can say something about it and let them know. However, and it depends on the situation, guys. You can be tired of that person and just let them go, or you can sit back until you find another person and say, hey, she's cleaning the house up, she's cooking for me, she's cheating, yeah. Loving is good. And you can wait for that replacement, and then you let her ass go. Hey, this is just not working out. And you don't even have to tell her the reason why unless you want to. But to me, I'm a drama-free type of person. I just let them know, hey, this thing isn't working, blah, 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 this and that. But in this case, I was lucky in this situation, in my opinion. Because I already had the 2 prospect girls, one from the club and one I met somewhere else. And it is what it is, right? Now, I know some of you guys may have put stuff on TikTok or YouTube or whatever social media, and I don't know if a lot of this is just acting or you just making money off it. Hey, if you're making money, do your thing. But you don't have to sit there and put a video camera and expose that woman unless you are married to her and it's a court situation with the lawyer so that you can show the judge that, hey, this is the reason why I'm divorcing her ass, okay? But other than that, guys, sometimes if you don't have anything going on and you have a girlfriend, even if she's not living with you, sometimes you got to say, hey, well, at least I'm getting some free sex and, she's massaging my back and bringing me food every now and then. I'm going to just put her in a category now that I know what she's about. And I'm going to just take my feelings out of this and wear a condom. Is that bad? No. No. Because at that point, that's what players do. I'm just being honest with you. That's what true players do. Okay, baby, do your thing. Yeah, do your thing, baby. And in the meantime, you have another chick over there. And then you get rid of her ass when you get tired of them. That's not being a simp. That's just having open options. And it just depends on the situation, guys. Listen, like they said, it's an old saying, there's no wrong way of eating a Reese's. And it just depends on the situation. Now, if you've been living with a chick for 3, 4, 5 years, and there's a love connection and so forth and a bond, that's totally different. But if you've just been living with a chick for a few months, 6 months, sometimes almost up to a year, and you haven't put a ring on it or no connection, you can either let that chick go or you can keep her around for a little while. It depends on how good she is to you. And let the loving be the good loving until you get tired of it, and then let her ass go. Unless she's a ratchet or a chick that just got drama going. Then you really let them go immediately, that same day. I don't care how good the sex is. You let them go right then and there. But other than that, guys, if she's a smooth girl and sweet and feminine, play the game. But anyway, I love Thursdays, guys. And if you got a comment to make, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, please make that comment in the comment section. Also, guys, if you like the content I'm putting out, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button, and hitting that notification button. That way you know when new content is being presented to you guys. And also share with like-minded people like yourself. I like to put that little wand thing on you. And on my Love Thursdays, you guys know I love to go extended a little bit. All right? With that being said, thank you guys very, very much. I appreciate it. Please, if you want to, it's timsontheman@gmail.com. timsontheman@gmail.com. Okay? Also, I got the channel up. It's Tim's Fashion 101. TIMS Fashion 101. I got my first video in there, and I'm going to update it a lot. All right? Can't wait for that. But anyway, guys, thank you very, very much. And before I leave, I want to say this. Go ahead and let yourself out. Go on. Make sure you pull that door back. No flies and critters can get in my house. And I'll catch you guys on the next one, okay? And remember, I'm not just Tim. No. But I'm Tim's on demand. Oh, my. Let's keep it popping. All right? All right, guys. You guys have a great evening. And I'll catch you on the next one.